There was a total of 25 Indigenous Guernseys that were used over the last 2 weekends in 2025, and I thought I would jump on and rank all of them from worst to best. I've done this the last 4 years. Now I'm aware I'm a little bit late to the party with this video. Let's just say my 7 games in 4 days video, which I filmed last week over Indigenous round, took a little bit extra time to plan, and I just didn't quite have the time to finish this one. So yes, it's better late than never. I still want to go through them, and like I do every year, I've done this since 2021. We like to go through these designs, but base them purely on the design. Let's start things off from the lowest spot to the highest. In 25th position, we've got Collingwood's design. Yeah, it's not the best, to be honest with you. It's just a little bit too plain. Collingwood always have had the opportunity to go outlandish and go above and beyond, but I think once again they've probably missed the mark with this one. Yes, they have implemented something to do with the magpies, with the magpie footprints, but that's only on the one stripe, and you can very faintly see the little designs on the back. So I wouldn't be purchasing this one if I was a Collingwood fan, to be honest. They're always so boring, the pies. Like 24th and 23rd spot, we've got the 2 Brisbane Guernseys. This one's kind of the opposite of the reason I have Collingwood so last. Way too much going on. I almost feel like this one was a bit overdone because you can almost not really tell it's Brisbane at all. You got almost too many colours. It's supposed to be a central meeting point in the middle. You can tell that, but I can't really tell much of what else is going on. It's not my favourite design, I'm not going to lie. I do appreciate and recognise the creativity, but in terms of that, just the design to the eye, I'm not a big fan. I have the red one up a little bit higher in 23rd, just because I like the red a little bit more. It stood out when I watched them play against the Hawks. Next up, 22nd spot, we've got Carlton's. Too plain for mine. If this isn't a tier maker, it would probably be in the C tier. There's so much just empty, plain, open space in this Guernsey that they could have filled up spots with. If it's an Indigenous Guernsey, you could have done that. I've liked the some previous Carlton designs where they've use different variants of blue, some of the lighter blue fading into whatever they want with some more designs across the board. This is supposed to be a shell design shaped as a footy. Not enough for mine for the Blues. In 21st spot, we've got Gold Coast design they wore against the Saints. I don't like how the red once again is sort of vanished within the Guernsey. You can barely see the Suns design. That's the thing, right? Have it pop out a little bit more, and I would have actually had it up a few more spots. I don't mind the designs, but they're a little bit too plain. I feel like I've seen something like this before, probably even with Gold Coast. So yeah, there's just so many other ones that I like more, and it's just with Gold Coast, I kind of would have liked it if they adopted more of a gradient, because the Gold Coast gradients are almost the best in the competition, and it's a sun. Gold Coast sun, that could be like the best sort of template you could work with for an Indigenous Guernsey. They didn't really do it with this, so I'm not a massive fan of this Gold Coast one, to be honest. 20th, I have Melbourne's. Now, this is honestly not even that bad. I feel like coming to look at this a second or third time closer up, maybe this one deserves to be up a little bit higher, but overall, it's a bit hard to tell what's going on. I did look this one up. This was designed by Cozzy Pickett's dad. You've got a shield, the middle part, but I think it's still a bit bland for mine, as harsh as it might be. I can't really tell exactly what's going on, and you could make the argument that the design looks a little bit ugly, but I don't hate it. And I actually like it a little bit more looking at it closer up, but looking at it from afar, it's not my favourite, to be honest with you. But I don't mind the colour scheme for this one for Melbourne. 19th spot, I've got Port Adelaide's home design. This one's very unique. Now, I don't really know what this is supposed to be. You've got all the dots, which I actually think look really nice. Remind me of like the Milky Way, which is actually what they're supposed to represent. And then just all of the different colors of teal on the bottom just sort of coming out of nowhere. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, they're doing too much in a way. Like, I reckon they would have been better without the dots on the bottom and just kept the V. It's okay. I don't hate this, but I also don't love it either. I like the Clash one a bit more. We'll go through that one a bit later. 18th spot, we've got another Gold Coast Guernsey. This year, I just haven't been the biggest fan of Gold Coast designs. In fact, Gold Coast and Guernseys, they've just become really poor. This one's better. I actually think it's quite unique. The middle, really don't know what it's supposed to be, that design, but I think that's quite unique. You got the boomerangs around surrounding it, which is quite nice. But once again, with a sun, I think they missed the mark with the colours that they have, the Suns. They've got one of the best colour schemes in the AFL, red, gold. You could use something with a gradient, once again, red, gold, orange. That would have looked a lot cooler. You even adopt a bit of blue. But no, they've decided to just keep it a little bit simple. Well, not simple. I just don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's their Darwin design. but there are others I like more than this. In 17th spot, we have Essendon's Dreamtime at the G design. This is getting to a stage now where I think these are fine. I haven't got an issue with this one. I just think maybe it's a little bit too simplistic. Now, I was reading this one up. This was actually designed by a couple of students. They had the opportunity to design Essendon's Dreamtime Guernsey, and this one won overall. I like the design. I think it's quite clean, and I like the curviness of the stripe. You've got the gum tree and the bird prints coming from the side. Yeah, it's nice. And I like the dotted outline around the Dreamtime at the G. You know, a few outlines around the Fujitsu logo as well. I'm not sure if that was done in previous Essendon Guernseys, but this is kind of cool. I just think it's a little bit simplistic, and other Guernseys just a bit cooler to the eye for mine. In 16th spot, I've got the Sydney Swans Indigenous design. This is nice. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. The designs on the bottom certainly make up for this one, and you can sort of see the real detail with these when you look at it close up. You've got the light blue, the white, and the red. They work nicely. So clean design. I just think it's a bit simple for mine. I think there are other ones that just are a little bit more exciting. This does tell the story of the club's journey from South Melbourne to Sydney, so there's a bit of a meaning behind this, as there are. There have been other Sydney designs I've liked a little bit more, which I can show on the screen, but I haven't got an issue with this one. It's quite nice. I like the patterns on the bottom. We head to 15th spot, and this one is one of the more clean designs from every Guernsey that has been used. We've got Fremantle's design, and this is nice. Probably, again, for me, just a bit basic, but I really like the colors, the green, the white, the red. So symmetrical as well. Yeah, this was designed by Jeff Farmer. I like the birds coming out from the side and the meeting places sort of in a triangle format. So, yeah, pretty nice, but I like some other ones a little bit more. 14th spot, I've got North Melbourne. Now, this probably deserves to be up a little bit higher, and it probably is the case for the fact there are some clash and home ones that sort of take up the positions. I don't really know what is going on with this one. There is a little bit, it feels like there's a bit too much in a way going on. You've got the right side with all these panels with the people, the witchery grubs, a lot of unique designs on each of these panels, and then the blue and the light blue, the white. It's cool. You got the kangaroo coming from the side, which you can't really see very well on this photo, but it's there. And I like how North Melbourne always use the kangaroo, because there's a real significance with kangaroos and Indigenous cultures. So overall, this is a pretty decent design. I just feel like there's a bit of an imbalance in the Guernsey, and some a little bit more cleaner than this, but I don't mind it. It's probably sort of like middle of the road, but it's probably would be a B if I did this on a tier maker. 13th spot, I've got GWS. I would have actually had this a bit higher if it wasn't for the fact that that's the same designer that I had last year. This time it's just in white, apart from charcoal. But I like the white. This color balance is awesome with the orange, the really cool designs at the bottom, the black, but then you got the gray gradient up into the white. So I like this one. It tells a story of unity as well. It just might be not as high in the rankings due to it being a repeat design, and due to it still not being as cool as some of the other ones we're going to see. 12th spot, this is the Clash design for Port Adelaide. So we went through the home. I think the Clash one looks a little bit nicer with the dots at the top, and also the teal coming through the white as well. But I can't have it too much higher. Once again, if this was done in a way that it wasn't so confusing to the eye, I probably would have had it a bit higher. I like the colors. Some people are really liking this one as well. Some people think this is like a top 3. It's not a top 3, but it probably is because of the uniqueness of the design, and I like the white one more than the black one. Probably a bit higher. 11th spot, this is another Dreamtime with the G design. This is the Tigers one. I love the yellow. I've always liked yellow and Guernsey. It's so bright, it's so bold, it comes out at you. You can see the mutton bird as well on the stripe that I think they've used before, if I'm not mistaken, in other designs. But yeah, I just like the way this yellow stands out. I also like the different colors used in their stripe. I think that's also quite nice also. So once again with Richmond, they don't need to do too much. I think Richmond and Essendon always seem to do quite well with their Indigenous designs, as they do every year. We head to the top 10 now, and I'm starting with Geelong. We've got their away and we've got their Clash. I like their away one a little bit more, the white one, or I don't even know if that's supposed to be away. I don't know which one's meant to be Clash or not. So in 10th spot, I have this one, which is the navy blue back. You've got the serpents coming from the side, the red serpents. How cool are they? And I like the use of the turquoise. You've got a platypus, the animals, and on the bottom as well, you've got the sea creatures. How cool does that look? This is a really nice design from the Cats. They always seem to do quite well. This one being designed by Lawson Humphrey's sister. And each member of the family, they got their own chance to design a little cool pattern on each of the hoops. So they had one for their Clash. They had one for their home. I thought it was weird how they wore the dark blue one at home when they normally wear white, and made the Bulldogs wear a white design of their kit, which we'll go and have a look at next. So I think the white one just looks a little bit nicer. I like how the hoops are darker. That's why I think that looks a little bit better. Coming number 8 is the Western Bulldogs Clash design, which I don't think is quite as good as their home, which we'll talk a bit more about later. Now, I didn't even know they had a Clash design heading into this. Like, they didn't even announce this until, I think, game day of the Geelong v Bulldogs game. So I feel like it's still weird. They didn't need that. Why couldn't they have just had the regular blue and the Cats could have worn the white? Like, you just look at it, there's so much going on, but it's not like messy. It doesn't feel messy at all. The artwork's really nice, which we'll talk a bit more about when we get to that for the Bulldogs. In 7th spot, we've got Adelaide's design. Now, this is so cool. I love the dots. I love how it feels like it's so symmetrical with the patterns. It's like in order on the top, on the bottom 2 stripes. Really nice. I like the dots, and I love the crow in the middle. The crows are so good with their Guernseys. Once again, they've hit the nail on the head. I like the home one a bit more. Now, I originally thought this was going to be the cooler one because I kind of like Adelaide's red designs, but the home one's better. 6th spot, we've got Hawthorn. Hawthorn have done a really good job. They always do a good job with their Indigenous designs, but this one I think is even better. Now, I've put the gold one as the one I don't like as much. I think the brown one, when we get to it, pops out a little bit more. But you can't deny how nice this one looks. You've got the stripes, which feel like they look like didgeridoos. I don't know what they're meant to be, but I really like the different patterns on the stripes. The middle, you've got the hawk landing on a nest. I think that's what it's meant to be, feasting on a bit of a nest. And it looks like it is, yeah, trying to hunt for prey in the middle. I just think it's strong, it's bold, it's menacing, it's really sick, and it's one that I would buy if I was a Hawthorn fan for sure. We get to the top 5. So we talked about the Bulldogs a bit earlier. This is the Bulldogs home, and the artist that designed this is done an awesome job because it is just so sick. There are all these little details that have actual meaning. Now, obviously, that's the case for a lot of these Guernseys, but I like the way that they used this one. For example, they had the white dots. They celebrate the 100 white dots celebrate the Bulldogs' 100th anniversary. You've got 132 symbols for all the players at the club, and you've got 6 panels all centralized into one. You've got the red, you got the blue. The colors are elite. I love the colors. They just stick out you so nicely, and that's probably why I like this one more than the Clash. Number 4, we've got the West Coast Eagles. Now, I love this one. West Coast did a really good job last year, and I think they've done a really good job again this year. You've got the eagle, fierce, coming at you, swooping. You've got all of the designs on the eagle as well. So the eagle doesn't feel like it's out of place. It's sort of in the central of the Guernsey. You've got the gold on the bottom, which is more of a gold design actually, and this is why I like it even more, because I actually really like the use of yellow gold in AFL Guernseys. You've got the emu, you've got the kangaroo. Really cool. You got a few animals, and the top is quite clean as well in the blue. West Coast, once again, you shit on the footy field, but you're actually pretty good with your Guernseys, and you played well in this against the Saints. Speaking of Saints, in number 3 spot, I have to have put this one in there. Even if you didn't go for St Kilda, you can't argue with how nice this one looks. It feels like there's a lot going on, but I also feel like there isn't a lot going on, if you know what I mean. And each design feels like it's in the right spot and isn't out of place. You've got the 3 meeting places. I'm pretty sure one of them is meant to symbolize Moorabbin and the St Kilda fans. You got 1 in red, 2 in black. You got the red, and then you got the kangaroo footprints coming off the left as well. How cool do they look as well? This is one that I probably should have bought. If you can buy it still, maybe I will as a St Kilda fan. Very good job from Nasai Wanganeen-Miller. He designed the Guernsey, and this is number 3 for mine. Number 2 spot, we have the home design of the Adelaide Guernsey. The reason I've got this one a little bit higher is because I like the navy blue more with the crow. I just feel like it just makes the crow a little bit more bolder. The dots on the background aren't as prominent as the ones on the Clash design with the red, but like I said with the red version of this one, there just isn't much wrong with it, is there? So cool. I love the pattern. Look at the colors of the crow. I just realized that is just so nice. It's so sick. Adelaide, once again, very, very good job. But in my opinion, the Guernsey that I think looks the best, and this was worn very first game I went to it in Darwin, Gold Coast v Hawthorn. We have the Hawthorn Indigenous design, but the brown design. And the reason I've got the brown design a bit higher is because I think it just makes everything stand out a little bit more because the designs are a bit brighter, to be honest with you. And these designs are so nice. And I think for Indigenous designs, having brown and gold, they're really good colors to work with. And I think the Hawks have done a very good job. And I've just noticed this, which is quite subtle, but there's a meeting place as well, a big one behind the Guernsey in the background. With some of the other clubs we've seen, there were big gaps where there were just no designs, which I thought they could have put something in it. Hawthorn have made sure that every spot on this Guernsey was filled out to a treat, and this is very good. And unfortunately, I couldn't get a win in any of these 2 Guernseys, but that is the one that I think looks the best in 2025. So let me know down below which ones you thought were the best or the worst. I do apologize for having this one out a bit later. I hope it doesn't matter too much. I've got a lot of stuff coming out this week, content-wise, and the next few weeks are going to be really exciting. I'd say the next month to month and a half are probably the biggest that you'll ever see on the channel. So it's going to be really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon in my next one.